quick video on generating random numbers. Okay, so let's add new item. Again, we are still in week 2, so I have the same week 2. I'm going to add a new item, call it random numbers. And I'm actually going to take stuff off from Zybooks because it's there and I want to relate to that. So if you go to Zybooks and if you go to week 2 and right here, random numbers, we are interested in pseudo random at the bottom, okay, where we generate pseudo random numbers, random that are really random every time. Okay, so for example, if we take that code and we put it in here, I'll add a comment that says generating random numbers. Okay, so and then we'll put this code here. We don't quite need that. We need seedtime, which enables use of time function, which is required for a unique seed every time you want to generate a random number. Because if you don't have this, it will generate the same random number every time. Okay, so that's really all you need to do is use seed and you call the random function. Okay, now let's just see how this works. And then you can always take those random numbers and you can assign it to variables and do things like that. So you see how you get different random numbers every time, right? So what you want to do is, for example, if you didn't have this line, and if you did this, then you get 3, but every time you run it, you're going to get the same random numbers. So for example, see, it's 41, whatever, right? It's the same number. If you rerun it, you'll see that they are same every time, okay? So what we want is to be able to generate unique random numbers. And so that's what that will let us do. Now, of course, you get all these big numbers, right? How do we limit these random numbers to, like if I wanted between 0 and 10, or if I wanted between 0 and 100, right? So let's first have some variables called num1 equals 0, num2 equals 0, num3 equals 0, right? Okay. So then I say, instead of outing them, we'll say num1 equals, and we can take this rand function and put it in here. So we generate a random number. Now, if I do mod 10, what that's going to do is whatever random number it takes, it's going to get a remainder. Remember, we did this with the mod operator. We're just going to get 1 digit, right? It's always going to be between 0 and 10. Okay. Now, if you take another random number like this and you do mod 100, that's going to give me a random number between 0 and 100. So by using these mod operators, we can limit a range of these random numbers. So for example, if you had a 6-sided die and you said I wanted a random number between, that would always be between 0 and 6. Then you do mod 6, you always get, so let's try this. The number of digits or the numbers that you're going to get, not just the digits. So notice 7, 33, and 3, right? So run it again, you get 1. Run it again, you get 0. So it goes from 0. You're never going to get a 6. So if you want to include 6, then you should mod it by 7, right? So the remainder would never be 6 if you divide by 6. So there's 2, 1, and 56. So just play around with it. But that's how you generate unique random numbers every time. And the mod operator can be very useful to limit the random numbers within a certain range.